Hello, Drunkduckers. Ocean with me is Tarts and Baines. Hello.
Hello. I almost waved to the camera.
I will only accept non-verbal physical communication. Tarts, perform a dance now.
Exactly. Now I'm doing it right now. I'm tap dancing.
And I will belly dance with my enormous gut.
Oh my god. You have not seen enormous guts, I think. Like, you have to see our Greek politicians for that.
Today we are chatting about watching things over and again or reading them again. Basically, enjoying something again. It could be like for, multiple times you're enjoying this one thing, or it could be, just the first time you've picked up this comic again or watched this series again or whatever. But that's what we're talking about. How would you guys describe it? Like
Rediscovering rediscovering these stories, and yeah, that's how I would say it.
a rediscovering. Okay. Well, that's
I know nothing stays the same, but if you're willing to play the game, coming around again.
Oh, lovely. Well, when we do the musical version, you can be in charge of picking out the songs.
and singing them.
Except for sabotage. All right. Well, then now, Quackcast is going to tell us about the featured comic. No, she's not. I'm going to tell you about the featured comic. And the featured comic was Perennial Print. Hello, I'm Ozone Ocean, and my feature of the week was Perennial Print. August and Cora didn't believe their uncle is dead. They go to visit the cemetery, but August takes a tumble and ends up in quite a bit of trouble, resulting in a little stay at the local police station. Meanwhile, Cora is nowhere to be seen. But was this all part of August's plan? August is a journalist, having worked for the dodgy publication Perennial Print, a rag known for everything from political reporting to the supernatural. August is well versed on how to dig up local info on mysteries. But just what did happen to their uncle? A black and white action mystery comic. The style is bold, practiced, and professional, with manga influence. It's highly readable. So yeah, have a look at Perennial Print. It's a fun little comic. It sort of rushes along. It's very, very easy to read, and there's not that many pages so far. The story is just starting. It's beginning to draw you into the meat of it and the mystery and seeing what's what and what exactly is Perennial Print. Who is her uncle? Who is the editor of Perennial Print? These are questions that you're gonna be thinking of as you read this comic. So have a look at it. It's done by Oldest Charm, and it's rated M for mature. That was Perennial Print. I hope you have a look at that and enjoy it, and just maybe read it and then reread it and then reread it again, and keep on rediscovering it and see all the little different things you missed. That's the topic of the Quackcast, but it's put it into practice. It works. All right, now Gumulus is going to give us his lovely theme to a comic called Misfits of Fandom. No need for Red Bull, coffee, or Monster Energy drink, especially not that, because they have shit graphic design. The tune has all the get up and go you need. Feel that thrum in your veins. This techno blast will drag you up and get you moving. So take it away, Gumballs, with your theme to Misfits of Fandom. That was Gobulus with his theme to Misfits of Fandom. So, do you like that bit of music? If you did, listen to it again and again and again and again, and just, get something new out of it each time.
Yeah.
Misfits of Fandom, a comic by Matt Gasser, and it's rated E for everyone. Always, forever. Okay, so the topic of watching stuff over and over again, or reading something over and over again, is something I came up with because I've recently subscribed to many different TV services. I don't know, whatever, media share. I don't know, Netflix. All these kind of things, basically. And I've been able to rewatch some things that I've enjoyed back in the day. Like, there's so many new things to watch, and you think, oh, okay, there's too much new things. I'll just catch up with some old stuff and rewatch that. And so that's what I've been doing. I've rewatched, what was that? Parks and Recreation. Love that. It's probably my third time on some of those episodes.
Wow.
Love that. Archer, just recently. Probably my third time on some of those episodes too. Freaking love Archer. Adventure Time. My second time on Adventure Time. Although some of those episodes I've watched and watched and watched. And many other things. I'm just rewatching and getting a whole lot of new insights into it. I was telling you guys that on our little video that my rewatch of Archer was able to watch it in a whole new light from when I first saw it. So when I first saw it, I was just thinking, this is a very funny show. It's an interesting take on the spy genre, being a parody of, spy agencies and what people get up to. And that was really unique and fun. And also setting it in an office and being a parody of office dramas and all that kind of stuff as well. And Archer having his mum in the office, it's fantastic. But now I'm seeing it in a very different way. I've noticed one thing for a start was the fact that the lady who plays his mum, I can't remember the actress's name, the actor's name, she's in it with this guy who played Len Trexlor, which is the head of Odin, which is a rival spy agency. Those two actors were both in Arrested Development together.
Yeah.
So he played her husband in that, and she played, the matriarch in Arrested Development. And there was someone else in there as well from Arrested Development. So it was really, really kind of interesting little crossover there from Arrested Development to Archer. So that was one thing I picked up. I also picked up that it's way, way more violent than I realized. The ends of episodes don't actually often resolve the story. They just leave it open. They just have an open-ended story with an extremely violent end, and that's the end of it. What I've also seen is, like, every character is an arsehole. When I first watched it, I thought, Archer is the arsehole, and everyone else becomes slowly a bit arsehole-ish as this, later seasons happen. But no, it's from the beginning. Everyone is an arsehole. It's like Lana, Kane, Cyril figures who you think, oh, he's just being mean to Cyril and doing this. But no, Cyril's an absolute dick. He's, being unfaithful to Lana, and he's doing all this kind of stuff. He's horrible. So, I've picked up just viewed it in a whole new light, and it's really interesting that way. It makes it worth watching again. It's not like, oh yeah, it's a comfort food sort of thing, and you rewatch it and it just sort of scratches an itch, and you're having a bit of nostalgia and all that kind of thing, and you're not really picking up anything new. With this kind of thing, you are picking up new stuff, and your brain is like learning new things from it. I had to stop watching it because there's if you binge watch something, it becomes too routine, and you stop enjoying it properly. You stop picking up those things. So I've I've decided just to watch it every now and again, like I would have done when I first saw the series. So I'll watch it a bit and then stop, and so I'm able to keep this level of proper enjoyment of the whole thing. But yeah, so that's what was influencing me to do this whole thing. What about you guys? What's your kind of rewatching experience been like for various things? What have you sort of picked up from rewatching or rereading something again?
Well, I have some of the comfort food thing, or like rewatching something because I want to feel that way again, or because I just love it. And I've always been a rewatcher since, of course, Star Wars. I remember when I was a kid, keeping track of how many times I've seen Star Wars. And it's like I remember thinking this, like, I think I've watched Star Wars 6 times.
Wow.
I've watched it 12 times, and I lost count eventually, but it was like I've probably seen it 50 times. I wonder if I've seen it 100 times. And I might not have ever hit 100. I'm pretty sure I must have hit 50 over the years, but so there's that. Yeah, and then I was so little that, of course, I would watch it again and pick up new things, and adult stuff like that. You just have more understanding. There's stuff that I've rewatched that I loved as a kid that I would rewatch a little bit of it later, and it's like, oh my god, this is horrible. This does not hold up at all. Yeah. Like, I can't believe, even as a kid, I was remotely entertained by this. And then there are other things that are, I can appreciate new details. Tance was talking about comics. I'll let Tance talk about that again, like she did on Patreon. But on a show like I'm rewatching Deep Space Nine right now. Love that show. When I first saw it, I didn't really care for it, so I left, and then I caught it in reruns many years later. I'm like, this show is amazing. And now I'm watching it again, and it really hits the spot for me. Like, it really is just perfect, just everything I want. And I remember a lot of it, but I can really sort of appreciate the talent, the writing talent, the acting talent, what it looks like, and all that stuff.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot of different aspects. Character relationships is quite... there's a lot of different dynamics in that show. A hell of a lot. It's really worth a rewatch.
See, the thing too, like, once you know where it's all going, like you mentioned with Archer, like you kind of know where things are going, so you can, you're taking it in on a different level just because of that. Like, okay, I'm seeing the seeds of this. Or like, oh, they tried to do this with this character, but then they went another way. Like, it's neat to enjoy it on that level.
Yeah, I'd like to rewatch it because of, say, getting into the relationships of the characters again and just looking at the dynamics. So between Quark and Odo, for example, O'Brien and Bashir.
Right.
Bashir and what's his name? The tailor guy.
Garrick.
Bashir and Garrick. All that kind of stuff. That's fascinating. All those little tiny interweaving dynamics. Jadzia and Worf and all that stuff. It's just... Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, you sort of see how it all comes together. And then once the show has really kind of figured itself out, it's just like, oh, my God, this show is so good still.
Yeah.
For me, anyway, it definitely is like, it just checks every box. It's just exactly what I want. So I'm loving, like, all these years later, to love it just as much.
I want to rewatch Next Generation again. It's just the first season will be hard to watch. I don't go for Gumwall's thing of skipping. I like to go all the way through. So I'll have to force myself into it.
I rewatched Next Gen, but I couldn't do the first season. I just couldn't do it. DS9, I'm watching everything. Even the first season, a little rough. But Next Generation, I couldn't. Season 1 is... I just can't.
It's hard. The first episode I hate.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. Some things, yeah, you have to really force yourself if you're gonna watch it again. Maybe I'll just be looking at it with this current feeling about if I rewatch it again, maybe I'll enjoy it in a different way. Maybe I'll pick up different things. Maybe I'll watch it with my mind focused on background details and stuff like that. So,
Maybe.
Yeah, that'll help me get through it.
I remember like one of the movies not as a kid anymore, but as an adult that I have watched several times is Inglourious Bastards. I just really like this movie. Although, of course, it is Tarantino, it is very violent, all of that. And I remember, like, there is this very iconic scene with the Jewish girl, Susanna, that she ends up sitting at the same table in France with Hans Landa, who is the Jew finder detective Nazi, and easily one of the most intimidating villains in my book, exactly because he is like a sleazebag but an intelligent one, and completely ruthless, all of that. And he has her eat a piece of strudel with cream on it, and also serves her milk, if I remember right. And the thing is, I got from the first viewing and ever since that, he served her the milk because that's what he had done. He got a glass of milk in the first scene before slaughtering her family, basically. And that was, for me, like, that SOB, he's absolutely intimidating her with this, trying to see a reaction if she has a thing, but she just drinks the milk. But also then it occurred to me, like 3-4 times into viewing this movie, that he tested her more with the cream on the strudel, because and that I found out when I was researching other stuff for the 40s. The cream would have been made with lard, and that means that it wasn't kosher.
Okay.
On the strudel.
That's tricky.
Yeah, so he was testing to see if she was Jewish, and she passed the test because she ate it, and all that. But that was like added a layer of. I'm trying to find a word that is appropriate for the cast. Of bastardness to his character, that he did that. And then because I was always wondering, like, why does he just then dip his cigarette in the cream? And it's because he wasn't interested in the cream. He was interested to see if she was Jewish. And that was such subtle and great writing. And it's a little detail that you don't need to catch. But if you catch it, you get a lot more out of Landa's character and Susanna's character as well. That and needs the thing. So yeah, that's
and that would be really hard to catch on first viewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, you would have to know that they would be making it with lard. First,
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
That's when I caught it. When I saw how they were making things.
Yeah.
Back then. So yeah.
Yeah. Normally, you're just trying to keep up with the plot, right? The first time you watch something, and you can appreciate those other things later. You were talking about comics and how you can kind of the first time you're racing through it probably to
absolutely.
Story.
I have to know how things end, like where everything is resolved. But then I know what's going to happen, which is basically why I cannot be spoiled. If you tell me what happens, I don't mind. I just want to enjoy the journey. And I might even enjoy it more because I am not stressing about it. So now I enjoy it more and basically catch details I wouldn't otherwise catch. So
That's a good way of looking at it.
You can like go back and appreciate the artwork and appreciate the background, sort of soak it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
That definitely, I reread comics and enjoy them on that level too.
Yeah, and I talked about Asterix in the video cast, but another one that really I enjoy rereading, or at least I used to. Now I'm so burned out on everything that I cannot reread anything. But if I get if I rest a little more, maybe I will pick that up again. But at the time, I used to read 1010 many times.
Yeah.
And he, like Hergé, also packs a lot into his panels. And you can see, like, especially after, like, his first era graphic novels, Snowy becomes a bit of a silent mime character instead of being more of a talking dog. He never is a talking dog, but he gets speech bubbles in the first few, like a lot more speech bubbles. Let's put it like that. And as he matures, the character and everything, and then you get Haddock as well, he gets less, like fewer bubbles, and he becomes more of a dog that is just a very intelligent dog. And Snowy is just he reacts in the panel, but you don't necessarily pick up on his little quasi sneaky adventures that he has around Tenten's feet while he's there. And it's he's basically a very funny character. I really like Snowy. And
It's very cute.
Yeah, he is. And also little things like, for example, when you have the Thompson brothers, Dupont and Dupont, in the panel, they are always doing some slapstick in the background in some way, even by their expressions when they get like sneaky, like cunning plan ideas, and you can see a bit of foreshadowing on what stupid thing they're going to be doing later. So that is a lot of fun to when rereading these pages, you get a fuller experience.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's so dense that it really pays to view it again, so you can absorb some of all these background details and other aspects. Yeah, like you say with Tintin, Asterix too. Oh my god, there's just so freaking much in there. Political humor of the time when it was written, as well as like pop cultural stuff that was big at the time that was done, as well as historical references that you wouldn't pick up on as a kid at all.
Yeah,
it's so deep.
I remember. I think it is Asterix as a legionary. Asterix, the legionary. I don't know how the title would be in English.
That's it.
But they have this entire like gag sequence where they try to get through civil service / bureaucracy, like Roman bureaucracy, and they get sent from one office to another. And like, have you had your petition stamped by this office? And then, oh no, this is not where you do this. You have to go to the other office, and they have like 2 or 3 pages of them going up and down a whole building trying to get the proper paperwork done, basically. until in the end they just punch a few civilians and they get their job done. And as a kid, I found it funny. I enjoyed the sequence, but I realized that it was satirizing, red tape and paperwork and how everybody is incompetent. After I had to go through this thing a lot of time. So that was on a reread when I was an adult that I got the joke, basically. Like, I got all the levels of the joke, let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's what happens. You get access to these hidden levels. Like, ta-da, you're granted access.
Yeah, achievement unlocked.
Exactly, yeah.
But now I hop from one thing to another, but I play this game with the Wizard 101, and you have the capacity to make you create your character, and they allow you to have up to 6 characters so that you can replay the game start to finish by being a wizard of a different school of magic, basically. But the extra bonus that you get replaying and reading the story, if you you have to read the story to get this, is that you pay attention to little Easter eggs that are there for the adults, not for the kids. And little and references that you didn't pick up on, and jabs at political situations that you wouldn't pick up on immediately. At least I didn't when I was first playing and learning the game. But now that I'm on my 6th wizard, I really enjoyed the satire of a lot of political things, and especially there is a lot of corruption stuff that they satirize, and superiority complexes. There is a whole race of dogs that are basically British Empire dogs. and you get the whole very condescending, polite, but also I'm superior than you sort of attitude. And they are everywhere. In every world, they are everywhere, preserving the culture for their British Museum equivalent and getting stuff. That then you have to go into, that sort of thing. That's very enjoyable for me. So much so that I might actually pay cash to get another wizard and do the 7th school. And not just have just the 6 schools. I'm about to finish the story with my 6th wizard, and I'm starting to warm up to the idea of making a final 7th wizard for just enjoying the story once again on the whole. So
do it. I was thinking of that thing you mentioned before of knowing how something ends, so that because of that you can enjoy how things go a lot more. And that was how I felt when I was watching Parks and Recreation, when I was rewatching Parks and Recreation, and I felt that, especially how I was and when I was watching particular characters as well, and watching how they would develop. So say basically there's this character April, played by the magnificent Aubrey Plaza. So I love watching how that character develops, and I know what she develops into because I've seen it the whole series before. But it's so cool to observe the changes from episode to episode, how she develops. And especially I used to watch Aubrey Plaza when she was doing stuff for College Humor, I think, and she was doing web videos and stuff like that, and it was amazing to see her graduating to a proper TV show. And doing movies and stuff like this. But I think Parks and Recreation was her first kind of big time TV series that she did, and watching her character develop as the series goes is so cool. Watching how it grows, and it's also tied to the real person, because I suppose that was one of her first shows, so it wasn't too far outside of the actual how the actor behaves and stuff like that. So that was really cool watching that kind of aspect, and some of the other actors as well. And you pick up different things like the main character Leslie Knope, played by Amy Poehler. She's the main character, and in one particular episode she's dating different people because she wants to get into a relationship, and she dates this fellow who's an MRI specialist, and he's a real kind of creep, and he's cloying, and he wants to do an MRI of her, and he reckons, oh, that's a gift and she should be grateful that he's doing an MRI, and he's such a dick. And it's played by Will Arnett, who was her husband at the time. Oh. So that was hilarious. That was actually her husband playing that dickhead.
Wow.
Which I didn't realize at the time when I first saw it. So that adds, a whole new level to it. And there's many different aspects like that, that you pick up from that you would never think when you watch it the first time, because of course like you said, Tance, that you're too caught up with watching the plot because you don't know what's going to happen, so you're not ready to enjoy the ride as much. You want to see where it's going. I think that's a good way of explaining it.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, that's another aspect. When I rewatch something, I will often enjoy the visuals a lot more. I'll enjoy the aesthetics a lot more. Like you were talking about with the comics, you can enjoy the artwork. When I rewatch, say, Captain America: The First Avenger, which is one of my favorite Marvel Universe films, I rewatch it just for the look of things.
Mm.
Not just the plot. Also, for relating it back to the old comics and all that kind of stuff. But the aesthetics. Do you guys ever do that?
Maybe. I can't think of a specific example.
Well, say Back to the Future. Back to the Future 2. Like, do you enjoy the okay, so here's the future version. Look at those fashions. How does that apply to the real world? Look at those self-lacing shoes and the hoverboards and the graphic design on that, and the three-dimensional advertisements. Their version of the future world,
Yeah, I definitely can enjoy those details more on multiple rewatch. You can, look around and where the story's going, obviously, and I appreciate performances and probably aesthetics as well.
Especially with that film, I really enjoy looking at the aesthetics. And then the 1950s diner, and how things are set up there, and
it's neat.
Like background details in the diner. It's like you're almost there. It's so cool.
Yeah.
When you initially watch it, you're just focused on the main characters. You don't care about anything else.
Yeah, you're kind of taking it in, but you can't really focus on that stuff. Keeping up with the plot and all that stuff.
I think we're distracted by Tance's feed. She's sort of blinking in and out. I'm not sure what's wrong. Blinking in and out. Yeah, exactly. I'm just messaging Tance now. What's up? Oh dear. Let's see. Other things like Star Wars you mentioned. I don't know how many times I've rewatched. Not anywhere near as much as you have, but I have. Is something I've rewatched, and I've enjoyed it each time. And you do pick up different things each time.
Sure. Yeah, different like camera shots and editing, and that's stuff that I start to notice is little performance things and little moments and some visuals, but then also like the kind of the editing and music cues. And like, oh, that's why it feels like that. I like how it cuts away there, and sort of a couple of times in that movie in particular, like, you see these sort of odd little camera movements. They're really neat. Yeah, it's great. I think I might be done with that one by now. We've even watched multiple reactions to it. The last time I watched the whole thing was probably 10 years ago or close.
You finally cured yourself of Star Wars.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I can't even watch a reaction to it anymore. Who knows? I doubt I'll ever watch it again. Yeah, maybe.
If I could find a version... Oh, sorry, I just talked over you. What'd you say?
That's okay, go ahead.
If I could find, a proper original Star Wars without the stupid changes, then I would watch it again. I can't watch it with the changes.
I don't have the original version. I know you can get it. It's out there, but I don't have that. Haven't seen that in many years. That'd be cool to see them.
Yeah, because when you rewatch... Oh my God, now this is something. When you rewatch something to enjoy it, and it's not the same, that's painful.
Well, if you're a big rewatcher, like probably on your level, definitely on my level, like I noticed that, on some streamers. Speaking of DS9, like the first episode is missing some of the best moments.
They cut it out?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Like recut stuff, so I went and got the DVD.
You went and got them again and watched the originals. Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's weird. Like, when you rewatch stuff, often your memory records things because it focuses on its own particular things, and it records things wrongly. So you rewatch something, you think, oh, I don't remember this. Oh, this is different, and really, it's not different. It's just because you remembered it wrongly. But when it is different, that's just evil. That's messed up. Yeah, and that happened with me when I watched Star Wars. Like years ago, I got it on DVD because I thought, oh my God, it's going to be high res. Yay, I'll watch one of my favorite movies high res. And I watched it and I thought, what's all this crap? I don't remember any of this. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And so I experienced that with Star Wars. But there's other things you rewatch it, like this series Hunter, 1980s police series. They have there's a Dirty Harry style police, cop, and he has his sexy partner, and they go and shoot bad guys and solve crimes or whatever. It's the same as many TV shows like this, but it had amazing 1980s hit songs in it for the scenes, and they were really cool. And there's one I remember fondly. It was an arsonist who had a flamethrower, and he would go into old derelict buildings and burn them down. He's paid to do that for the insurance fraud. And they played Talking Heads. What's that song? Burning Down the House. Burning down the house, burning down the house. It's a freaking awesome song. And it was a great scene with this guy, walking into this derelict building, crunching over wet ground, and then just burning everything with this music playing. It was amazing. And in the when I was rewatching it, none of that music is there. It's all taken off because they didn't have the rights to use the music. So all the music in the entire series had to be redone by one guy who did fake versions of pop music at the time.
Right.
And it's the weirdest thing. It's so weird. But so you don't have the same experience. But there's other stuff, when you watch it, it's recut in a different way.
Oh yeah, I definitely can feel the difference too. Many times I've watched something on a streamer, and it's like, this is wrong. The stuff I remember is not there. The stuff I don't remember that's there, and it's maybe just because I'm used to it the way it was that this is screwing it all up. Screwing up the
It
whole
just feels wrong. It doesn't feel better.
For sure.
Weirdly, when I watched the old series Robotech, which is, a lot of people enjoyed that back in the 80s. It's got mecha, it's got all this stuff. And the whole theme when it starts off, it's got all these different scenes from these 3 different series that Robotech's made of. So something Super Dimension, Fortress, Southern Cross or something. Then it's got Macross, and then it's got Mospeeder. All these things are like wrapped up together. But the start credits, like the opening scene, is made up of all these different series together, and it's got this. It's a kind of cool effect as these things are spliced together. But the version they've released like since then on DVDs and stuff like that doesn't have any of that. It only for a particular. So that it's basically made up of these 3 different anime series, like mashed up into one thing, right? So in the first season of Robotech, they've only got like animation from the first thing, and then for the second one, they've only got the beginning of the episode is only from the second, and then it basically splits up the footage between the things, and it's just. I just can't stand it. And you might think that's a silly thing because it's only opening credits, but you rewatch opening credits over and over and over back in the day. You couldn't skip it. So it's ingrained into your head. And if it's not the same, then it's like, it's weird. It's like mispronouncing normal words or something. It's weird. You're back, Thomas.
Finally. I don't know why the computer just decided it didn't like the camera for some reason. I have no idea. But anyway, and then it was the app here, the Google Chat didn't want to accept the camera microphone for some reason. Whatever. Now it does. Has it ever, like on a rewatch, occurred to you that something you enjoyed way back in the day now feels uncomfortably wrong? And I remember when I had Netflix, I saw that they had like Rush Hour 2, I think, or 3, or one of those, with Jackie Chan and Chris Rock, I think.
Yep.
I want to say. Okay.
Tucker, yeah.
Okay. So, and I said, okay, I remember that I laughed at with this one when I watched it at the cinema. I'll rewatch it. And my God, there are so many racist, like really racist jokes that, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. The slapstick is okay because, of course, Jackie Chan. But oh my God, the entire humor is about yellow men, black men, stereotypes, funny.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, and I couldn't finish it. I was like, oh my God, I cannot see this thing now. I don't know. It makes me so uncomfortable, and I cannot laugh at it. So yeah. Yeah.
I get what you mean there. Yeah, the when things are racist or like really sexist, those kind of things. But it's also because we are in 2025 now, and we're a lot more aware of that kind of thing than we were back when those things were released. So it wasn't just that we didn't notice; it wasn't culturally as important to us.
And for sure. And it was a lot more acceptable at the time. like this movie would not have been made with that script now.
Right.
But I think I also had a different tolerance for bad jokes back then. Because it's not just that it was it had a series of very racist jokes. They were not even clever ones. They like you might. I have found myself wanting to laugh at something that is very very wrong, but because it is a clever joke, even though it is racist and it's terrible and shouldn't be repeated anywhere. But these ones, I didn't even find them funny. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
So maybe my humor has completely developed differently. But again, I was very, very young when I saw that. Like I remember I must have been a teenager at best. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Not a teenager, but I was on the cusp of not being a teenager, I think, when that came out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean there. Yeah, it is. It's a really annoying when that happens too. When you rewatch something and you can't enjoy it in the same way anymore. Like I was rewatching Ellen, which was Ellen DeGeneres's move into mainstream popularity. So she started off as a stand-up comedian, you know, a performer, and then oh wow, she got her own TV series, and it was, you know, really, you know, her answer to Seinfeld or whatever was going on at the day. And yeah, we all enjoyed it, yeah, because it was a fun little 90s sitcom. Rewatching it, it's freaking painful. It's so slow and awkward, and none of these people are very good, and none of the scripts are very good. It's just such a painful show. Cannot enjoy it in the same way. And it's weird sort of thinking her trajectory, you know. She was a lesbian woman playing a straight woman in the whole first season, maybe the second season as well. So that's painful to watch. So she's pretending she's straight in that, and you know how that's going to change, and you're feeling bad for her because she has to kiss guys and pretend she loves them and all that kind of stuff, and that just feels so wrong.
Yeah.
So it's levels of weirdness. So yeah, that's a weird one to watch. So yeah, that's painful. I don't think I can rewatch that. I can keep going. I don't know. Maybe I can. It's hard.
You're trying.
Yeah, there are, I don't know, Lex is a great series. I love it. It's a sci-fi TV series, but instead of being like Star Trek, where everything's like, oh, we're in a future military utopia, Lex is a military dystopia, an absolute dystopia. It's like a B movie. No, it's like a D movie version of a sci-fi series, and it's deliberately so. It's ultra sexy and ultra dangerous and just ultra evil, so it's really cool, but it's really tricky to do a rewatch because it's so ropey in the first 2 seasons, basically. Well, the first season is just 4 miniseries, kind of, you know, extra long movie length episodes. The second season is terrible. It goes up and down in a level. It's really, really tricky. The third season and the fourth season are really cool, but it's really hard to rewatch because of that. I've managed to rewatch it once or twice maybe, but yeah, it's hard to do a third time. It's very hard. So yeah, sometimes things are just work to get through. Do you ever find that? Like you want to rewatch something, but it's just too hard?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know. sometimes it gets harder. Like back in the day when I was little, I read, loved Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and I could reread them, and I did. But as an adult, trying to reread Lord of the Rings, I just couldn't make it. Oh my God, this is so boring. Just walking, nothing's happening. But as a kid, I freaking loved it. As a teenager, I loved it. But as an adult, it was just...
I have to say, I haven't attempted to reread the Lord of the Rings for a good few years. I don't know how I would, how it would feel right now. But yeah, I do remember that I have some titles in my mind that I would not be able to reread at all. But they are all Greek. It wouldn't make any that much of a difference. And especially they are really good books, but they are so painful. Like the experiences described there are so traumatic. I wouldn't be able to let myself be immersed in that kind of pain again. So I would not read it again, ever. Like, highly recommend the XYZ book. Do not read a second time.
A lot of things are view or read once, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's only once. A lot of things. Yeah, I'm not ever going to watch or read so many. I'm not ever going to reach 100. Never going to read 100 Years of Solitude ever again. That was a one-time deal.
A play that I would not willingly read again is Ibsen's Ghosts, which is excellent. It's excellent. There is. I generally consider Ibsen being one of the best playwrights ever in history, but Ghosts is so painful. It is so painful because it is like a family trauma that never gets resolved, which is very realistic. And
very, very Ibsen.
Yeah, but it's not like the Dollhouse, which I think is one of the more optimistic ones in a way. It is basically the guy returns home to basically die, in my opinion. But this is my interpretation. Read the play yourself. But it is such an empty and heavy and broken feeling that I don't want to feel again. So, Mother I cannot read again.
I think I've seen Hedda Gabler, The Doll's House. I don't know, quite a few of them, but yeah, it's it tends to have family tragedy and this and that, and bad things happening.
Yeah, because and that's exactly what he wanted to put this front and center, and he absolutely nailed it. But yeah, it's not a comfort read. It's not a happy read. It's not a feel-good read. It's supposed to make you think how not to get in these situations, basically. So,
right.
Yeah, I might have seen that. Yeah, but worth doing for the experience. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. Once you have to read it once in your life. So
there are certain things that I plan to read and watch again. I plan to watch. Eventually, I'm going to watch Seinfeld all the way through again. I started doing that a while ago, and I didn't complete it, but I will begin doing that again because that is an enjoyable experience, and you pick up a lot more in that because that is really a well done show. I think I'll do Arrested Development again. So there's a lot to that, except I don't know if I'll do the extra episodes. What about you guys? Have you got a plan? And so many things I'm going to read again.
I'm not doing Seinfeld. Like DS9, like I said, I'm also rewatching Seinfeld. Like a couple episodes a week. Very slow pace. I'm on season 5 so far.
Oh, that's good.
Very, very good, man. Some of them are really great. A lot of them are really great in the years I'm watching right now. So,
I'm watching Farscape again. Slowly.
Mhm.
That's a really good show. That's worth it. I think that's my 3rd rewatch. Oh no, the time's running out. Damn it. Alright, I plan to read Snow Queen by Joan DeVinge and her other books in that series because they are cool. And everyone should read that. Read Snow Queen by Joan DeVinge. Worth it.
Yeah.
Alright. We're ending.
Wouldn't it be great to do a comic that people want to reread? I don't think.
I do that. Bottomless Wages and Pinky TA. Everyone rereads that over and over.
I reread it over and over too.
Just you. You're the only one. All right. Rewatch this Quackcast or re-listen to it over and over and over. See you again. See you next week, guys.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all.